Good afternoon. Joe Zarzaur here with another segment of Zarzaur Law TV. Today we're going to talk about the 6 most common misperceptions or myths related to car accident cases and their claims. I'm going to run through them real quick. Number 1, your insurance will pay for everything. Number 2, rear-end collisions, where you get hit from behind, are always the fault of the rear driver. All drivers carry enough insurance or any insurance for you and your injuries. Your insurance company is on your side, quote unquote, and you do not need to seek treatment for minor injuries, and you don't need a lawyer if there's not a lot of property damage to the cars. So let's start in reverse order. Number 6 on that list was you don't need a lawyer unless you have a lot of damage to your car. That's a myth and a misperception because significant injuries can be caused and there might not be a lot of damage. This happens many times because vehicles are different materials. They're made for different purposes, and you could be in a vehicle that is built more well built than the car that hits you, and or the impact can be such that both bumpers hit and there's a large amount of force is applied to your body, but not a large amount of damage to either car. Since you don't know, because your only source of information is going to be how you feel physically about the injury, you should always get checked out within the same day, hopefully, of the collision. You should go to an ER or at least an urgent care center that day and get checked out. There's 2 reasons for that. One is it helps you medically, which is the most important reason. And number 2, it helps if you end up with a serious injury from this case or from that impact. It helps your legal case that you went to the ER that same day. Number 5 is you don't need to seek treatment for minor injuries. Again, what you're thinking is minor may not be minor because you don't really anticipate well in these situations because your injury symptomology on the first day or day 1 of the wreck is going to usually get worse on day 3 or 4. So if you have what you would call a minor injury that day, it is likely going to feel worse on day 2, 3, and 4, and it may not get better right away. So it's always better that day to go get checked out, just to make a record for purposes of your medical condition moving forward, but also to make a record legally, because certainly the other side is going to suggest that if you didn't go to the doctor, then you must not have been injured at all. Number 4, your insurance company is always on your side. You see in the commercials, we're always on your side. We've got your back. The cutesy commercials that are out and about. They're going to take care of you when this happens. Nothing could be further from the truth. Their mission in this world is to make money. The more they pay you, the less money they make. I am not faulting them for having a spectacular business model, but you should never be under the misunderstanding that their mission is to protect you or to take care of you or to coddle you or to make sure you get made whole. That is not their mission. Their mission, again, is to make money. The less they pay you, the more they make. End of sentence, end of paragraph, end of story. Period. All drivers carry enough or any insurance for your injuries. Well, Florida doesn't require all drivers to carry any insurance for injuries caused to other people. In Florida, you can legally drive a vehicle and not have any coverage for the other person's injuries. So if somebody at fault for a wreck smashes into your car and causes you to be hurt, and you find out they don't have any injury coverage for you, that's perfectly legal in Florida. That's why it's always important to buy as much uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage as you can, and as we've discussed in several other videos in different parts of this channel. Rear-end collisions are always the fault of the rear driver. That may be something that you misperceive or believe. It's a myth. Sometimes rear-end collisions happen because there's a sudden emergency in front of the driver, in front of you as the front driver, and you have to slam on your brakes. Well, technically that wreck was caused by whatever the sudden emergency was. It could be a car pulling out of a parking lot without warning. The fault driver in that car could very well be the car that was pulling out of the parking lot. Now, many times the officers that investigate the crash will give fault to the rear end driver, and if there's a third party involved that sticks around, they will find fault with both drivers sometimes. Sometimes they'll find fault with the rear driver, and it turns out there's actually another party that's at fault for the wreck in addition to the rear driver. That's for lawyers to sort out later. But you shouldn't just assume that the rear driver is always at fault, because that's not the case. And last but not least is that your insurance company after a wreck will pay for everything, so not to worry about it. That is not accurate. Your insurance company is going to pay only what they're required to pay by law and the facts of the case. So in Florida, your insurance company is on the hook for the first $10,000 of your medical bills and lost wages. Outside of that, your insurance company is not obligated to pay anything for the wreck unless you've purchased underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. If that's the case, then your insurance company will also be responsible for any damages caused by the other driver that are in excess of the $10,000 PIP benefits and that are in excess of the other driver's injury coverage if they have that. And that will be the end of it. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. If an insurance company doesn't act in good faith in negotiating your settlement, you can hold them responsible for bad faith damages, which would make their policy almost like it doesn't have a limit. Those are rare situations. Well, they're more common than you would believe, but they're rarer than typical. And it requires an experienced lawyer to navigate the bad faith world, so make sure your lawyer knows what they're talking about. If you have any questions about any of these 6 myths of car wreck cases or car wreck claims, you can find us on the web at zarzaurlaw.com, or you can call us at 855-HIRE-JOE. Thank you.